as of today, the Usos are officially the longest reigning WWE champions of all time. This story comes from SEScoops.com, and it says the Usos defeated the New Day on Friday night's episode of SmackDown to retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships and ensure they will surpass the New Day as the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. Does this surprise anybody? Is there anybody who's surprised? We are basking in a moment of time right here with the bloodline, with the New Day. With the bloodline, with Roman Reigns, with the Usos. This is a moment, man. We got to cherish this moment. This is real. This is all real. This doesn't surprise me. I don't even think this is big news. I got to put it number one, but I don't think it's big news. I think the bigger news that it's time for us to start discussing here. It's time for us to start really asking this question. The bigger question is, are the Usos the greatest tag team of all time? How do you dispute that? Like old heads, how do you dispute that? IWC, how are you going to dispute that? You're all going to try. You're all going to try. You're going to come at me with a bunch of old tag teams that I've never watched and tell me how great they were. The IWC is going to come at me with a bunch of tag teams from Japan or Germany or Australia, places that I don't watch wrestling. But how do you dispute? How do you dispute that the Usos are arguably, not arguably, they're the greatest tag team of all time. 3-time Raw Tag Team Champions. 5-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions. 483 current days as champions and 863 total days as tag team champions in the modern era of professional wrestling. Where's your argument? Where are we arguing here? Who are we? Are we arguing? Are the old heads going to argue for the Road Warriors and the Legion of Doom? I get it. I get you got some nostalgia towards that, but they're not the Usos, guys. They're not doing what the Usos do right now in this moment of time. They're not as impressive as this current run of the Usos that we are rocking with. We are rocking and rolling right now. Like, we need to embrace this. This won't happen again, probably in our lifetimes. Like, we won't see these records that Roman Reigns and the Usos are breaking again in our lifetimes. Let that sit in for a minute. Like, this is a golden era of wrestling that we're sitting through. And like I said, old heads, you want to come at it? Come at it. IWC, you want to come at it? Come at it. Like, I make an argument for the New Day even. I can make an argument that the New Day are the second greatest tag team of all time. I'm not going to make the argument right now, but I can make the argument. Pre this Usos run, I can make the argument that the New Day were the greatest tag team of all time. I can make the argument. Maybe one day I will, but I'm not doing that today. I mean, what's the IWC going to come at me and tell me that the Hardy Boys were the best tag team of all time? They were fun to watch, but they're not the Usos. They're not the Usos, man. This is history. We are truly appreciate the moment in time because it is going to end soon. And when it ends, as wrestling fans, we have to know what we were watching. Don't let the IWC fool you, guys. Don't let them fool you. They won't admit how big of an accomplishment in modern day wrestling this is. They probably want to tell you how the Young Bucks have done so much more than the Usos. The Young Bucks are so much more impressive than the Usos, especially in all of those little gymnasiums that they sold out. All of those 60 to 80 ticket venues that they've sold out, that makes them the greatest tag team of all time. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. The Usos are main eventing SmackDowns. The Usos are workhorses. They're on Raw. They're on SmackDown. They're on every premium live event. Don't come at me with the Young Bucks argument, right? There's a huge gap in professional wrestling between the Usos and everybody else. I said it. It's a huge gap. I get you like your FTRs and how they come out with 37 different belts from 30 different promotions that I've never fucking heard of. That's great. That's great. But they're not in the big leagues. They're not doing it on the big stage. They're not doing it every week on the biggest wrestling show in the world. They're just not doing it, right? There is a huge gap between the Usos. Then you got the New Day, and then you have the rest of tag team professional wrestling. And I'm not sitting here. This isn't meant to be an argument. We're not arguing this. The AEW tag team division is not, when I first got back into watching wrestling, when I came back about 2 years ago, I started watching the IWC. They saw an opportunity to sink their teeth into me, and they came at me and they started telling me the tag team division in the AEW is just so much better than the tag team division in the WWE. And I watched for a while. And I drank the Kool-Aid for a minute. I was like, oh yeah, no, you're right. And then as I got to sink in and form my own opinions, I go, what the fuck are these people talking about, right? There's nobody better than the Usos. There's nobody better than the New Day. They're the best professional wrestlers. And when I say professional wrestler, I mean entertainer, I mean wrestler, I mean showman, I mean ability to move merchandise. These guys are the guys. It's not the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are on their way. I'm not mad at the Acclaimed. I'm not mad at the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are on their way. And believe me, the Acclaimed are more watching the New Day and the Usos than they're watching the Young Bucks. They're modeling their career after the GOATs, not after the Bucks. Trust me, this is happening. So take the time today. If you're feeling a little bit oozy, take the time today and appreciate this. Appreciate the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. We're not seeing this again. And this isn't over, guys. We don't even have an expected expiration date on these guys. There's possibility this goes through WrestleMania. There's a possibility these guys hold these belts 1,000+ days. Get ready for it. Get ready and appreciate it because it's happening, man.